Hi, Eileen Veilleux The Fam here. Welcome to another installment in our mini mental health series. And in this installment, we are going to be going over global developmental delay, otherwise known as GDD. Now, before we begin, I just want to state that this video was asked specifically to be done for a friend of mine on YouTube. We all know him as Big Boons. His son was just diagnosed with GDD, and he wants all the information he can have so he can help his son the best way that he can. Also, I would just like to remind you to please watch the full video to the end, because in the video there will be 3 key words. When I get to the key word, I will say keyword and then what the keyword is at the end of the video in the comment section, along with a genuine comment about the video. Put in what the 3 key words are to be eligible for my free merch giveaway when I reach 2,000 subscribers. So let's begin. Well, perhaps you're new to global developmental delay, also known as GDD. You may have a friend who has a child that was diagnosed with GDD, which I just mentioned. I do. His name is Big Boons, and his son was diagnosed with GDD. Or your child was diagnosed with GDD. Whatever the reason is, this video will help you to understand about GDD. So what is global developmental delay, or GDD? Well, global developmental delay, or GDD, does not point to a specific disorder, but it is rather a broad term describing developmental difficulty in children and adolescents from birth to 18, affecting a significant percentage of the population, and it is believed to stem from delayed keyword congenitive development. This thus challenging those affected in terms of reaching certain developmental benchmarks at various ages when compared to the general population. So how common is this? Well, GDD, approximately 1 to 3% of children under the age of 5 years old is estimated to be affected by GDD. So that's not very common. 1 to 3%, that's not a lot. So it's not very common. It is kind of rare. Do we know what causes GDD? Well, when delay occurs in several developmental areas, when this happens, it's called global developmental delay. And it may occur for any of the following reasons, although often no cause can be found. So let's go on some of the causes that may, and I do emphasize may, cause it. Genetic defects such as Down syndrome, fetal alcohol syndrome, Fragile X syndrome, which is an inherited type of congenitive impairment. Several medical problems that develop soon after birth, often associated with prematurity. There are a number of diagnostic tests that can be done to identify the underlying cause of GDD. Sometimes these causes can be treated to cure the developmental delay, or at least prevent it from worsening. However, as I stated earlier, often the cause is never able to be fully determined. So what are the signs of GDD? Well, I'm going to go over what the signs of GDD are at different ages, like 3 months old, 7 months old, a year, and 2 years old. Excuse me. So the most common signs of GDD From 3 to 4 months old will include the child does not respond to loud noises, does not babble, or begins babbling but does not try to initiate sounds, which is normally done by 4 months old. At 7 months old, the child still does not respond to sounds. And then at a year old, does not use any single words like mama or dada. And then at 2 years of age, the child cannot speak at least 15 words. They do not use two-word phrases without repetition. They can only imitate speech. Does not use speech to communicate more than immediate needs. So those are some of the common signs of GDD. Those are just the signs, those are not all the symptoms of it. I'm going to go over right now what the symptoms of GDD are. Some of the symptoms of GDD will be motor skill development may be delayed until a later age. Very young children with GDD will have trouble eating. Also, very young children, keyword, muscle tone in development may be delayed, thus resulting in limited physical activity. Trouble working with peers due to varying levels of congenitive development is common. In school, the academic concepts that may normally introduce, say the second grade, may not be fully grasped into a later grade. So they'll be behind. So something they should learn in the second grade, they probably not. So each year they'll probably be back a little bit. Excuse me. Social behavior problems such as inappropriate coping mechanisms when upset may indicate the presence of GDD. Vision problems may arise, making visual assistive devices and teaching methods necessary. Since speaking is also dependent on congenitive activity, speech and various language skills may also be underdeveloped. General abnormal behavior may be observed. An example, excuse me, hold on a minute, please. An example may be a neutral response to a happy or pleasant stimulus. Similarly, a neutral response may be observed when reactions of fear or crying would otherwise be expected with unpleasant stimuli. Lack of attention or interest in toys, moving objects, sounds, and body language is a common symptom of GDD. Some individuals may display a disinterest or inability to mimic parental, peer, and or teacher prompts, such as repeating a word. Hand-eye coordination is another common physical symptom, especially in older children who would otherwise be expected to master the skill within just a couple of years of birth. So when is a child diagnosed with GDD? Well, as they grow, development will be assessed regularly, and if they aren't meeting the expected developmental milestones and levels of abilities, they may be referred to further specialist assessment, like a speech therapist, occupational therapist, things like that. So what then is a treatment for GDD? Is there any special treatment? What do I need to know about the treatment of this? Well, there is no single treatment for GDD. But there's ways to help some of the conditions that may be causing the delay. Once a pediatrician or neurologist has completed testing the child, he or she may advise on keyword treatment for whatever underlying medical conditions that may exist. For an example, hearing or visual impairment or therapeutic input by a speech and language therapist, occupational therapist, and physiotherapist. Those are the different type of treatments that will go as the child develops. There's not a lot of information on that. That's as much information as I could research on GDD. Big Boons, I hope that this video has helped you out with an understanding. If there's any questions, please feel free to ask me. I will do whatever I can if I have to call different organizations to get information. Please remember when you're dealing with this, or if for anybody else, don't bring up a child's awkwardness. It's not helping the parents and it's not helping the child. Be supportive and encouraging to the parent and the child. Understand the things that the parents are going to be going through with this, especially if they're new parents and this is their first child with it. Always keep the other people in mind. Big Boons, I would also recommend you reaching out, seeing if there's any type of support groups for GDD in your area. Support is something that's really needed with any type of mental or physical illness. It's something you shouldn't go alone. Also remember, keep reaching out to me if you need. I'm here whenever you need it. And I hope everybody else in the YouTube community feels the same way. But I'm here for you. You're a good friend. I'm glad to have known you. It's an honor to be your friend, where you can trust to come to me. Also, people, remember, always look with your heart and not your eyes. You don't know what people are going through in their lives. Whether they're a parent with somebody with a mental disability or they're suffering a mental disability themselves, whether they have a child that has a physical disability or they're suffering. You don't know. You're not walking in their shoes. So to be judgmental and judge them by what you see is wrong. If you have questions, reach out and ask questions. If you're a family member or a friend to anybody that has any type of mental or physical disability, get involved with them by being supportive, learning what you can about what they're going through so you can help them through that. We all need a lift. We all need help from time to time. Although, majority of us don't like asking for help, it's always good to know that there's people out there that care, from their heart, and they genuinely want to help. If there's any questions, please, like I said, feel free to reach out to me. Always remember, it is so, so important to always look with your heart, see with the heart. What the eye see doesn't count. It's not important. All you see is a shell. The heart sees what's in that shell, just like when you eat a nut. You see like a walnut, it looks good from the outside. You crack that nut open, you don't know by looking at that shell if the nut is rotten or not. You don't know until you crack it open. Well, people are the same way. You don't know anything about that person until you look within from your heart. You can't tell by what you see. You have to look with your heart. Because only the heart can see what's important. So remember, everyone out there, I love each and every one of you for you. You are all so very important. You were uniquely made. Lift each other up. Inspire each other. Encourage each other. Be nice. When you're nice and you do things that are good like that, you're not only helping that person, but you're helping yourself by releasing endorphins inside of you that helps heal you physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally. That's why they're put inside of us. Endorphins were not put there for no reason. Everything about us was made for a reason. We were meant to be with other people. God did not make people to be by themselves. So don't ever let anybody be alone. Always, if you know somebody's down, lift them up somehow. Be careful of what you say. You know, words can kill because you don't know what the other person's going through. So, one thing that you may think is a joke to somebody may be enough for that person to take their life. That's not something I would want to live with. I would rather encourage them and lift them up. Let them know that they're loved and cared for. And maybe be the one to help save a life. So remember, everyone, I love you. Till I see you again. Bye.